Can you print a gaming PC?
Well, this seller from Jawa definitely tried to. This is a custom 3D printed gaming PC, and we're gonna open it up and see, is it worth buying? We're about to find out, but first, a word from today's sponsor.
Nothing hurts more than finding an opening for an amazing job just to find out that a lack of experience is holding you back. Well, I'm excited to tell you about today's sponsor, Southern New Hampshire University, and how they can help you land your dream job. SNHU has one of the largest accredited nonprofit online degree offerings in the country, and their computer science program will help you gain the skills you need to enter one of the nation's fastest growing and evolving industries. SNHU's computer science program will teach you popular programming languages such as Python, Java, and C#, and further expand your toolbox with experience in full stack development and cloud integration. SNHU will also provide cloud-based virtual environments in some courses to give you access to the technology you need for your degree and your career. College is great at providing a huge network of jobs, experiences, and relationships that are vital to getting a jumpstart in any given field. Here at the Toasty Bros, we really believe that the degrees we've all worked towards have played a big part in the success of both businesses. To learn more about SNHU, head over to snhu.edu/toastybros, or you can check out the link in the description down below to learn more. Big thanks again to SNHU for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's get back to it.
All right, guys, so while we open this up, this Mini ITX PC was sold on eBay and Jawa. On Jawa, it was significantly cheaper. We ended up paying around $574 for it, but now it's all the way up to $750, and the specs, which we'll talk about when we open this up, are not that great.
Yeah, so you would almost think with like 3D printing your own case, you might save a little bit of money. 3D printing itself, for the filament, for example, a full roll that'll print a lot of stuff cost anywhere from 15 to about 23 bucks. So realistically, this right here, if I had to guess, is probably less than a full roll of filament, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you would think it'd be cheaper.
So I'm noticing some weird thing. I mean, it went right back in, but the power button was kind of pushed out. I will say the packaging was fine, but it did bounce around a lot. I remember one of our members of PC Bros bringing it up here saying, hey, your computer's here, and shaking it, and it did bounce around a bit. But it's interesting. It's interesting design.
Yeah, it's weird because it's like it looks like they were using a wood grain filament, but it kind of turned out a little weird. Like it's kind of splotchy almost. I don't know, like, is that how they described it? Or did they say what kind of filament it was?
Let me see if they said anything in the listing. Really, it just says custom-made Mini ITX build. On Jawa now, it doesn't even say 3D printed, I think. Wait, sorry, our sleek and compact 3D printed Mini ITX build designed to fit right in your entertainment center or workspace, just like a gaming console. They don't say anything about the material or anything.
Yeah, and then there's something, what is loose in here? Something is loose, and I can't tell. Oh, it's the motherboard.
Is the motherboard loose?
Yes.
That's a little sus. This would be a good time to tell you guys about the specs of this computer, because the specs are not a great pairing in my opinion, but I can understand why the small form factor build. They went with a Ryzen 5 4100, which again, that doesn't exist, first of all. A Ryzen 5 4100, there's a Ryzen 3 4100, but the title on Jawa still says 4100 Ryzen 5. Might want to check that. GPU is an RX 6400. And then we have 16 gigs of DDR4 memory and a 500 gig SSD. Those specs on paper are definitely not worth $500. $750, definitely stretching it, but I think we gotta open this up now and see what the heck they did to make this happen, I guess.
Yeah, hopefully. The only worry, so the motherboard, all of the backing, I don't know if they had risers or what they were using, but they're all broken off or like non-existent, because the board you can like move around right now. So yeah, we'll try to figure that out. But the other downside with it being 3D printed is we're probably using some type of kind of coarse thread, screw. Yeah, see, it's like a semi-coarse thread screw where we're probably gonna only be able to screw it and unscrew it so many times. It's another downside of just simple PLA filament. It's not the strongest stuff in the world.
So yeah, this is one of the downsides with it, but this is the first time that we've bought something that was a custom-made case like this. I mean, I guess you could say these manufacturers are making custom-made cases, but this is just from some person who clearly prints these out, sells them on eBay and Jawa, and the design is different. It definitely stands out.
But yeah, you can go to like, Tinkercad and other places like that, and you can find your own 3D printable cases and stuff, which is pretty cool. Which this is it's a fairly simple design. I mean, really, like, you just have multiple panels that are printed. Oh, we got one more screw. I'm just gonna rip it real quick. 2 more screws. Yeah, and they look little 3D printed feet. Cute.
I will say the actual hardware specs are not great, but I'm seeing like a Noctua low profile cooler for the CPU, so it's not gonna run hot. The GPU is a full-size version. I thought they would use a low profile 6400. That's a bit of a weird choice.
Yeah, so as you can see, this stuff's pretty flexible. It's like they did like a honeycomb design to, it looks pretty cool.
So I'm curious why this thing is moving around. it has to be just connected in only a couple of spots.
So we can just
Just take the power supply.
out real quick, and then we should be able to see inside the full thing without needing to take any other panels out.
Which is a Montech power supply, by the way, a SFX power supply, which I kind of expected with a build like this.
Yeah, you definitely have to pay a little more for those things too. This is definitely one of the cheaper ones you can get as well.
But I'm just starting to wonder, now that this is $750 and you can clearly fit a single fan card here, why the 6400? I get the no power requirements, but you could easily plug something in right there. It would get plenty of ventilation on the bottom. That just seems like a weird GPU choice, especially if you're selling it for that price.
Yeah, I mean, in this, I think that's like a motherboard, like a fine thread, like SSD motherboard screw. Like, I don't know, the screw choice feels a little bit randomized, because like if you look at these screws here, they're almost all different. And I mean, they're even different thread pitches and stuff like that. So it almost just kind of feels like they made the holes a little bit smaller, and then you just kind of self-tap them in.
It's hard to see, but you can tell they had screws in, but you can see it came out of that standoff right there that they basically 3D printed.
Oh yeah, so they had 3D printed standoffs.
I don't know if you'll be able to see it, Jonah. It's kind of hard to see.
His Mini ITX board is only held in with 4 screws.
You could try screwing it back down again and just see, but honestly, the threading's probably just
It
off
looked like
now.
they were like straight broke to me. Like the
Yeah.
holes are huge now. It almost might make sense to use like, you know, the coarse thread, like I'll show you guys. Like these guys here, assuming that they'll fit in the standoff hole, because you see how aggressive the threading is on that. These will definitely like bite and hold really well in some PLA like that, but those like tiny little, I mean really they're like just machine screws. They're just not really designed for this. I would actually use like real wood screws that'll actually hold.
So it looks like they also just put a, what is like a 90 mil fan up front. So, and what is that held
that
in
held in?
with?
They used fan screws, which is another thing I probably wouldn't have done.
I think
probably,
it's the same thing again, where the screw.
Oh yeah, one of them came out.
Yeah, one of them came out. Where is
And
that
then there's
screw?
like random, like, what are these? There's like holes drilled in the top of the fan. I almost would have like glued this one on. Maybe like the hot glue would have been the choice for some of this stuff, you know?
I know hot glue doesn't look as good, but it would have been much sturdier than some of the screws, just based on how stuff is just not holding in.
That's why the graphics here look so crooked too.
Yeah.
You can see like now it's, I don't know if Jonah can see, but it's pretty straight. Before it was like, when we got it, it was like this. And I'm like, that doesn't look right. But it's because the IO, like the whole motherboard's like literally like just crooked. So that'll definitely be something that we'll have to try to figure out a fix for. Because I mean, the case itself is, I mean, it's cool. Get a big old beefy power button that I
is a
assume
really
has,
beefy power
I think it
button.
has some LEDs built into it as well.
Yeah, it's cool. This might be one of those cases. Oh god, I just threw a screw on the ground. Well, we'll reach out to the seller and just kind of tell them what happened and be like, hey, got this computer. It looks like the motherboard is kind of shifting around. I don't know if it probably was from shipping based on how that thing was bouncing around the box.
Yeah.
It just kept going back and forth. That screw just going wee woo, wee woo, and then went boop, came out. So that would probably be a packaging concern that we have to address. But I guess that we just, I don't know, what do you think we could do with this right now?
I mean, I think it's usable. Totally usable. I mean, it's just PLA, so there's nothing really to short out. But yeah, obviously the fan, a little bit, I mean, it's going to work. It just sucks that it's like incredibly loose and like only being held with one screw. The motherboard's incredibly floppy and whatnot. It's going to be a little bit annoying having to plug in like USB stuff because the board's going to try to like shift. But no, it's totally usable right now. They do give us 2 RAM sticks and like a Crucial P3, so, and the Noctua cooler. So.
All name brand stuff. It's
Yeah.
just the specs are, you're paying for the customization of this, and if we're gonna pay a premium for this kind of case, you would hope everything is, you know, in one piece. That's just the biggest downside here. I guess we'll put it all together and turn it on, make sure it actually works, because I mean, it did lodge around in shipping. You never know what's actually gonna happen. We'll turn it on, see if there's any lighting or anything, and then from there we'll install some games. Play games with the 6400, which, by the way, we always like to mention, that card has the Gen 4x4 limitation and the 40, well, it says Ryzen 5 4100. I don't know which one we have. Do we have the Ryzen 5 4500 or 4100? Either way, those are both Gen 3 CPUs, so we will have a little bit of bottleneck there in terms of the Gen 3 limitation. Let's power her on, see if she works.
Yeah, that's what I was.
That's exactly what he told me off camera, and then I go to push it in, and it just said, nope.
Yeah, that's the big downside. Wait, is that just like not being?
That right there just came out.
Yeah, it didn't even break the metal.
No, it just came out of the like. So this is what popped out.
I think they used the wrong screw.
Is this right here? Oh boy, this is a journey, ladies and gentlemen. We're having ourselves a journey with this computer.
Let's fix it proper with a nice coarse thread power supply screw like so. Yeah, what I was saying to Matt, which I don't think he did.
Yeah.
I think it was poor design flaw, but you want to make sure with like PLA. It is the weakest 3D printing material you can really use, and yeah, we got it in. But obviously, like, you know, you almost got to be like careful with this PC. Like pushing your power supply, and there's a chance if you push too hard, you're just gonna rip those screws out, which is kind of what happened in shipping. Are you ready?
Yep. Okay. Nothing.
Turn on. I like how the fan is like It's like off to the side now. Do you see it?
Oh no. Yeah, it is kind of off the
Looks
side.
so
It looks a little
goofy.
goofy. Yeah, I just think what I would have liked to see is a better GPU, probably like some sort of LED strip or something in there. Like they could fit some sort of lighting in there to make it a little better. I don't know, just a better, obviously better mounting, like some sort of system for better mounting. And all in all, it's a cool concept, but the fact it showed up like this is not a good sign. But I guess we gotta load up some games on it, see how it can perform, and then go from there and kind of reach out to the seller and just see what they want to do about it and kind of discuss some of the problems and the issues we have with it and see if they have any opinions on it. But it comes with Wi-Fi pre-installed.
Yay. All right, guys, we're playing Apex Legends on our little 3D printed masterpiece, and pretty much low preset, really. 1080p max FOV, and we're gonna play some gun run on a fairly open map, and we'll see what this thing can do.
Yeah, the real concern is the Gen 3 limitation with that Ryzen 3 4100 with the 6400, so we'll see how this holds up, but so far, a bit better than I expected.
Hey, we're getting, 100 FPS, so not bad. I mean, we're maintaining it. The latency is definitely a little higher than I'd like them to be, but it's definitely playable.
Basically what a 6400 is gonna do, you know, it is what it is. Good for esports titles, you'll see in the higher end games that we'll test that it's not really gonna be great for those. Oh!
May the better running man win. Yeah, I can smell you.
Yeah, buddy.
Teammate, quit walking. He's like mimicking my walking somehow. Please. Please. What is my teammate doing?
Yeah.
A Kraber? Oh, a Kraber? Oh my god, dude, I thought I could use that pole.
Aha.
God, that felt good. Pizza P2020. God, this sight.
Oh,
we're on the
knife.
Oh no, this guy has an. Oh, did we just lose?
Did you just lose?
I think we just lost.
Oh!
Yep, it was me too.
Oh my goodness. Dang, but hey, this performed better than I expected. And yeah, we should move on to the next game and see how that's gonna perform. Fortnite! All right, guys, we are now in Fortnite 1080p DX12 because we are running an AMD GPU on performance settings, far view distance, low textures. And looking all right. We got an unlocked frame rate right now, but I have a feeling we're probably gonna wanna remove that at some point here. We'll go ahead and drop and see how it holds up. Let alone the issues we've had with this PC, this combination is just not an ideal config considering the Gen 3 limitations, the Gen 4x4 nature of the RX 6400. So really it's just a matter of how much performance are we gonna lose with this configuration, and am I even gonna survive? Like, what the heck is happening? I might need to make an audible here. Actually, I might be able to survive down here. Let's find out. They played themselves, so I have no idea what that means. Yeah, not too bad for a limited frame rate. No major stutters or anything. We might get some drops here and there, like looking off in the distance, we're getting occasionally into the 90s, so not bad. So I'd probably lock the frame rate around like 120 if you do have this configuration.
Ooh. Dude,
Thanks.
homie did not back up.
Oh! Hey!
Whoa. They just made that car into their own. Oh my god.
Why did Peter pull up on me like that?
He pulled out the glove too.
Yeah, it was you,
Oh, he
Peter.
got stuck.
Oh! We're getting an AI battle on McAllister for the inevitable when someone just shoots me.
Oh, he's his leg.
Yeah, guys, you know what? I'm gonna say that's Fortnite. That's Fortnite for you guys. I was
In a
able
nutshell.
to get some pretty decent FPS, 100 plus, no problems. What we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna run some more demanding games, our 30 more times by score, and see what the price per point is of this PC. Obviously, with the current price, it's not gonna be great, but we will use the price that we paid for it initially, and then go from there. And hopefully we can come to a resolution with the whole system showing up the way that it did.
All right, guys, we just got done testing this 3D printed gaming PC, and we were able to play esports and AAA titles, but we did have to definitely do some lower settings.
Yeah, the AAA titles had a little bit of trouble running on this PC with the 6400 and the Ryzen 3 4100. In Cyberpunk, we ended up getting an average FPS of 56 on low settings with FSR 2.1, and in Spider-Man Miles Morales, we got an average of about 20 FPS on low settings using FSR 2.1 as well. So we are limited there, and the 3D Mark Time Spy score shows that as well, with a score of 3,643, which is a 16 cent per point average, which we all knew that this was going to be kind of on the higher end with the specs that were in this thing. But the fact that we got this computer and it wasn't in, well, very good functional condition, considering the motherboard's moving around, I could get paying a premium for this if it actually held up in shipping. But considering our experience, I have my doubts about you getting one in this condition as well.
Let us know in the comment section down below what you think. Would you buy a 3D printed gaming PC, or would you maybe even try to print your own?
Now, we did reach out to the seller the same time we were filming this video, and if we do hear something back, McAllister will cut to that point where we talk about what happened, because we wanted to see what the seller had to say and see if we can get a partial refund or something like that. Alright guys, so we did hear back from the seller, and luckily they're going to work with us on this and they're going to help us out. They're going to be sending a backplate, a replacement of the backplate of the case that the motherboard screws into, so we can hopefully replace that and then be able to screw the motherboard in. They're sending that free of charge, so that's really good, but it doesn't really change the conclusion of this video. We think this is a really cool product, don't get us wrong, but we think right now, especially at the price it's at now compared to what we paid for, it's a bit pricey, and only for very select people that are going to take this thing and pretty much baby it and leave it in one location. This might not be the computer for you, but again, still really cool to see these things being sold on Java, eBay, and other places like that. Custom cases are really fun to see, but we really do think the price is a little bit too high for the quality we ended up getting.
And as always, we hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, check out our other two YouTube channels and also our twitch.tv/ToastyBros, and do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
This PC right here may be for sale at PCBros.tech, maybe with a little case swap or something along those lines, but we got lots of other options. Even if you're looking for Mini ITX, we got you covered.
PCBros.tech, gaming PCs, gaming laptops, and so much more. Use code ToastyBros2 on checkout. You'll save 2% on your next purchase. See you guys later.
Peace.
Bye-bye.